Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to quickly add vibrancy and contrast to a photograph. It's very much a on-the-go technique to very quickly retouch your photograph, to adapt it to your project without having to go and use the Photolab studio in Craft Artist, or even going to Photoshop or Lightroom to do some deep retouching. This is very much a 10-second technique, and it's very quick and very easy to use. What we're going to do for this technique is we're going to use the blend modes here. Click and drag a photograph, and we're going to use the blend mode on a duplicated copy of the photograph. So I'm going to show you here the before and the after. So I'm going to keep this one for the before, and I'm going to click and drag the photograph to duplicate it, and I'm going to work on this one here. So with my photograph selected, I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to press Ctrl C and then Ctrl V on my keyboard. So now I should have a copy on top of it. As you can see, two photographs here. So Ctrl Z to put it back here, and I'm going to make sure that I select the top one here, and I'm going to go to my color tab here, and under blend mode, there are usually three blend modes that are good for photographs. It's the multiply one, overlay, and soft light, but you can play with the others, and we're going to see that we can use other ones like screen as well sometimes. But in this case I'm going to try to multiply. Here it is. You get a photograph that has got deeper colors. The sky is a lot more like what I saw when I was there. Okay, so this is the first example. Very easy to do. Select the photograph, Ctrl C, Ctrl V to duplicate it, and then go to blend mode, choose multiply. Okay, I'm going to delete this and try a second example here. So this photograph is quite nice, but it's not very contrasty and it's not very crisp and clear. So I'm going to duplicate it, Control and click and drag, just to show you the before and after. And with this photo selected, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, go to my blend mode and try the multiply. And that's very dark here. I'm going to try another one like overlay. This is quite nice, but maybe too much contrast, too much saturation as well. I'm going to try soft light. That's quite nice. So I can keep this one. I can just click and drag a square around both photographs and then group them, and then you can see the before and the after. Before and after. So I can keep this photograph. I can go to tools and just convert to bitmap as well. And that took about 5 seconds. But what I can do as well is maybe select the top one here and go back to multiply. And in this case, I know it's a bit dark, but what I can do is also use just the buttons here without having to go inside Photolab Studio. I can just use the brightness here. So if I click a few times, just like this, then I get something that I quite like as well. That is darker as well and more intense. Okay, so here I have a choice to use either multiply or soft light, and if you use multiply like I did in this example, then you can select the photograph and use the brightness as well. But if I just use the brightness on the original photograph, then it wouldn't give it a very good look. So in the first example we just used the blend modes and that's it. In the second example we used the blend mode and also we used the brightness button here. Okay. In this example here, the photograph to start with is quite dark, so I'm going to duplicate it, Control, click and drag, and then Control C, Control V. And if I go to multiply, it's going to look really dark, and that's not what I want. I'm going to try overlay. No. Soft light. No, it's not good. Because this photograph to start with is quite dark, I want this copy that is on top to be lighter. So I'm going to select it and use actually screen blend mode. Okay. So now it's a little brighter, maybe too bright. But what I can do is reduce the transparency here of the top layer here, just like this. So this is going back to the original, and this is 100% of the copied layer with the screen blend mode. But I'm going to reduce it a little bit to probably about 65%, just like this. So once again I can select both copies and group them together, just like this, and that works better, and that took about 10 seconds as well. Finally, with this example here, this is quite a nice photograph as well, but a little bit flat. Control click and drag, Control C, Control V, blend mode, multiply is quite nice, but it's a bit dark. Overlay, I don't like overlay. Soft light is not too bad, but it's too contrasty. I'm going to go back to multiply, and once again I'm going to use the brightness here, just like this. I can group both copies, and as you can see, this has deeper colors and more contrast, and the green is greener, and this is too flat. Okay, so that was the 10-second technique to quickly retouch your photograph while working on the project, and this concludes our tutorial. Thank you very much.